Good morning, afternoon, evening, all. This is part of the What Not to Do series for beach volleyball with sandchessvb. Happy Sunday. And this episode is about the blocker. You might be wondering, what is this short dude gonna tell me about blocking? Well, let me tell you a few things. Okay, I have the outline here. And we're going to follow all the bullet points, and we're going to put some video examples on the left with my homegrown tool. Let's get started. So, what not to do as a blocker. Maybe it does even start before the point. So let me go ahead and have everybody in position for serve, receive. Let's see, and the ball will be over there. Did I need to do that yet? Maybe, maybe not. Blocker. So we have the defensive team on top, the server, as I labeled him, defender, and the blocker at the net. And then I have attacker or setter. We can flip-flop them if needed. Doesn't matter. This tool is really meant for describing situations. And I just needed a label for all the 4 players. Here we have them, D, B, S, A, and of course you can see the court. Okay, before the point starts, we got our blocker here, and he could forget to give a call. Yeah, I am not going to assume any level here. I'm going to list down everything I can think of that can or cannot be done. So the blocker may just forget to give a call, whether it's a sign typically with your hands behind your back, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, or they could have talked about it beforehand. I'm suspecting that at high level there are some scouts helping the offense, sitting in the crowd, showing them what the calls might be. Maybe, maybe not. If I had that info, I'd like to. If I could have that info, I'd like to have it. Even though it's borderline unethical, but if it's public knowledge, then I should have it too. Anyway, that's my opinion. We can talk. So not giving blocking calls. Just you forget, but a good server will ask for those calls. Anyway, what's the next thing you could do? A blocker could not start at the middle of the net. Obviously, we don't want to create a screening. So one of the serve receiver not being able to see the server, that's a foul. But besides that, the blocker needs to be in the middle of the net so that he could be quicker to get to either two ball. Alternatively, you could come up with a plan where you want to start on one end of the net. I'm not going to get into details on what kind of plans it could be. We could discuss that later. I can make a whole video about baiting plans. Or we can discuss in the comments. But imagine if the blocker starts from here. And no, I don't want to move my server. I want to, well, I guess I will. And imagine either the ball goes back on one on the other side, Let me get some lines here. Let's get this line. Imagine the ball goes back on one here. Imagine the server serve from there. Then there is just zero chance any of the two players can get to that ball. So you start here, you minimize that. More importantly, let me remove those lines. More importantly, if you start more on one side, and then the other team hits on two, but you decided to just you know what, this was my passer here, and I'll wait in front of him. Well, then you're giving this guy a free attack, and sure, the server might be here, but even if you want to make it, you might be too late to defend against this. Okay. Another one. This is what we might be talking inches. I'd rather not have my blocker glued to the net, or also too far. Obviously, let's see. Here's the reason. The main reason for not being glued to the net. Let me have some shadow. Then maybe this is give or take the zone that with very little reaction one can protect around him. Now, if you have the blocker glued to the net, you can see that zone is 50% on the other side. Let me remove that ball. And again, we're talking in case there's a rocket pass coming back, good serve rocket pass, the ball comes back. I'd rather be here and up my chances, my coverage zone, in order to get to a rocket pass that might just come back on one. So that's really it, and you have plenty of time to do that 1/2 step to get to the net as the other team is developing their offense. Too far. If too far from the net, well, yeah. If you're too far from the net, then if somehow it's a fast pass coming, even if you have time to technically get to like a fast overpass. If you technically have time to get to the ball, maybe with that momentum, you'll end up in the net. So you don't want that either. And here goes the before the point special, the before the point problem. So you really want to be somewhere at the net, somewhere at the middle of the net, not glued to the net, etc. Okay, next point. We already touched base a little bit on that, but not defending against the two ball. Let's break that down a little bit more. So let's just say this is the attacker, or the guy who was served at first. And here comes the setter. Let's say we have a ball attached to set. Let's do that. Let's just say this is the play. The attacker or passer send the ball there. Setter maybe ends up like this. Attacker maybe starts his approach, plus, starts his approach, and maybe we'll hit something like this. Typically something like that, maybe a little closer. Well, if the block is lining up to that attacker, well, he's not in front of that setter, and the setter, or now the two ball attacker, might decide that there's a lot of court just to beat this defender, because this guy blocker is essentially out of contention to be able to defend. So if depending on the pace, he can put on a given ball. Oh, I can move it like this. I forgot. This is a zone where probably no one can get to fast enough. If the setter was to send the ball, maybe somewhere here over the block. That might be a tough zone to defend for the defender, even if he sees it. Let's see, let's put a line, reference lines. If the setter was to do this, there is no blocking zone anymore because the blocker is not in front of the ball. Maybe if you can do some jumbo or some really fast play, maybe even here is a good zone. So anyway, you don't want to let your setter, the other team setter, sorry, you don't want to let them free. You don't want to let them free ever. You have to assume, keep that rule, guys, until you know the setter is not a hitter. He's a hitter in your book. Once you know he's a hitter, then you can slide to be ready in front of the attacker. Okay, maybe then this next point is similar. Or maybe the blocker is ready to defend against an attack. If the setter is looking like he's coming with speed and a jump, maybe, and facing your side of the court, maybe you can be ready and block him. But what if he slows down and then in the end sends the ball? Not here. Sends the ball. I need to click on that ball. Thank you. And he sends the ball here, or here, or here. When you were mostly guarding a potential attack, you notice he's slowing down, he's not going to attack, so you drop your guard and you slightly, even if you haven't moved, you're still opening the court for some sneaky play, either a back bump set, or even a hand back set if he can angle his body properly. So you want to be able to guard that. Now, not every two ball is going to be, or two ball a sneaky set is going to be for the blocker, but a chunk of it, anything tied to the net, it's mostly his zone. And there will be some gray area. I'm not gonna get into details where does it end, where does it start. But just in general, both defensive players, blocker and defender, are responsible to guard that two ball. The easy back. I'll show the easy back bump set. If the setter is like this, and then he does a sneaky back bump set over here. Obviously, this ball is for the blocker. The defender can't just be here. If he is, then that setter can just send the ball deep opposite corner, and because those guys are definitely not guarding half the court. And here's my chess move, another one. This is a chess move. If you want to guard this, well then what are you opening up? Anyway, Anyway, this is another thing the blocker may not be doing. In fact, even at a competitive level, I see too many people not doing that, not being ready. Let's see, against an attack. Okay. Peeling. So peeling or pulling or getting off the net, all are synonyms, give or take. Peeling when a block was needed. So if, let's say, the set is tight, the attacker is coming hard. Let's see, coming hard with a fast approach. Well, then there would be a mistake. If you have all the indications that he's going to hit hard and in a zone that you can probably take. So let's see, let me show two things: power hit zones. Do I need this? Yes, and a blocking zone. Okay. So the power hit zone is, I'd say, an average angle, an average direction, an average zone where most good to advanced players can hit the ball to. I've got some comments that there are some people with a crazy angle on their shoulder, and that could be even wider. But I got to display something, and I would say this is kind of a good area where a decent competitive player can hit hard too. In the pink, and then this would be the zone the block will take away. Okay, so the mistake here might be, one mistake is if the better call would be to block, you decide to not block, peel, and let him have a free hit, and most of the time a good hitter is just going to put that away. So that's a read mistake, wrong decision. And then the other way around, so blocking, and that is going to make sense in a minute. Blocking when, I'll remove this, when peeling was needed. For example, if the ball is off the net, and let's say you are supposed to block line, you see that you're not taking much. You're really not taking that much. There's even a decent, it looks like about equal amount of room in this case behind the block, and even on the outer end of the block, like the hard line. The area is close enough to this, meaning that if the ball, oopsie, not the attacker, the ball was to go somewhere there, there's just no way anyone can get to it. With the assumption the block was taking the line. So now the block is really not taking much of the ball. Look, he's still giving like 80% of the court to his buddy. Sure, it's off the net, so we may not get a super hard driven ball, but essentially we place our defender in a position where he has 80% of the court left. If you had peeled, defender, now suddenly this, again, the gray zone isn't the only zone you can protect, but it's the quick reaction zone. But if you're off the net, the ball is going to, or the attacker is off the net, the ball is going to take time to travel to anywhere. And that time, even if somehow he sends a shot over there, really difficult, then you might have time, or the defender might have time to go. Because this is obviously not going to be a power hit from that point. Okay, so that's the pretty obvious obvious wrong decisions. Okay, what's next? What's next is, even if you make the right decision, so let's see, how do I have that listed? We have staying, not staying, okay, not staying neutral, showing too early. So if what reset, let's go like this. If you're supposed to block line, and maybe I'll expand on this. You're supposed to block line, and then you're really trying to protect that line, even as the attacker is getting his approach. Well, then that's information he can take, because as he's taking his approach, typically the ball will be just leaving, I need to grab that, just leaving the setter's hands, and therefore in his peripheral he can see the setter, the blocker, the defender, and the ball until the set goes too high. And if you're lining up to a little bit more line, well, maybe you could be baiting him, or you could just be blocking line. So again, if you want to bait, that's okay, but most of the time you want to stay neutral, because the bait will only work so often. If you bait every time, if you fake every time, then it's at some point someone's gonna know. If you're lining up to the cross but always end up blocking line, or the other way around, someone's gonna know. It might work, but it's gonna stop working eventually. So stay neutral. Don't show exactly which side you're taking. To pair with this, maybe the defender can not commit yet, because obviously if your defender is already here, then you might know that the scheme is a block line, dig, cross. When I say you, the attacker. So you want to stay neutral and really blocker, not this one, blocking zone, power head zone, and you really want to go take that line after the when the hitter has taken off and isn't exactly sure where you were. And you see in this case, the block is going to take most of that power zone towards the line, and the defender can maybe be somewhere there, be ready for the hard-driven ball. And at this point, this configuration, if the attacker, oopsie, can I get the ball? Ha ha ha. How do I get that ball? 1 second. There we go. If the attacker probably most likely shot is the cut shot, but that's probably not the easiest either. Like, what did I say? Most likely to score. The open zone is here because we have a good grasp of most of the court. Like, this is taken. You can do a baby line also, baby line shot. That's going to be a good one. But then maybe the defender or the blocker can read that the attacker is slowing down and then choose not to block. Anyway, what you see in this position, The defense is in a pretty good spot. Pretty optimized and essentially forcing a harder play on something like that. Forcing harder plays. Anything on the outer part of the zones would be really good for the offense. But you see, I'd rather put my energy as a defensive team in everything here and end that up. So there we go. That would be about, if you don't stay neutral, if you stay neutral, you might end up maximizing yourself your defensive zone because you're not giving anything away early. Badly timing the block. So this is really, I'm not going to be able to show that on the tool. But if you jump early or late, then you open the window of a ball flying over your block when you jump too early. And you're laying down, you're on your way down when the hitter can just hit flat over you. Or if you're too late, then you can maybe let the hitter tool you or something. So that's a mistake a blocker could make. Badly spacing the block. Aha. Yes. So you could let's say have a one which is line call, and maybe it's easier to understand on the right side for righties. Let's see. Okay, so if I have that 90 degrees, I cannot have 90 degrees, ha ha ha, funny. Okay, so you could overprotect the line and end up doing like this, and you see that let's say, yeah, this is essentially the scenario. You're overprotecting the line, and maybe not half, but like 30-40% of your block is not effective because the guy cannot even hit there anyway. If the ball goes there, it's because he will have had a roll shot. So I see it actually more often now that I said that. I see that a lot more when the blocker blocks cross. And most blockers, watch out, sit tight here. Sit tight because chances are you know someone who does this. I know a lot. Okay, when it's a cross block, I see too many people blocking too far to the cross and not blocking in front of the other guy's shoulder, blocking further out and leaving. You can see that the hitter can still hit cross essentially. I would call that cross. Blocking here is essentially blocking the cut shot. Or, okay, it's some decent amount of cross. But if you're leaving that open, that's on you, blocker. That is not the defender's ball once you've called a two block. I'd rather you take this and force the hitter to go like this. That's a lot harder than letting him in here. Blocking cross doesn't mean take some zone somewhere on that side of the court. it's preventing him to preventing the hitter to hit to his diagonal. Think about that, because it's not always if let's see, let's take some exaggeration angle here. Let me remove those lines. If the hitter's coming like this, I would say this is a cross block. But how you really taking a lot of zone on that left part of the court? Not that much. But you still want to negate, to force the hitter to go around you, and I mean to force the hitter to take a more difficult play. So if you block this, you're giving him a fairly easy play, versus if you block that, reference lines, that is a harder play for him to make. But anyway, also in this case, if that attacker has that approach, probably the defender should be like waiting more somewhere here, so that he has time to run down the high line, even though that's his primary zone. Because now obviously most players cannot pound the line, so you can wait and react. Anyway, boom, boom, boom. What do we have next? Yeah, spacing. So what is a space and time error? Okay. Yeah, the info you failed to use. Okay. What's next? What do I have after peeling? Not using the information related to the hitter's tendencies, set, height, location, hitter's approach, angle, speed, strengths of your team. Okay. Let me break that down. Strengths of your team. Okay, sorry, before I get into each of one of those, all of those tidbits of information should feed into your decision. Okay, let's go one by one. I'll start with this, and I'll have an easy example. After a sip of water. Okay. Strengths of your team. For example, if your defender is a lot better at getting hard balls versus running the balls down, well, of course, you're going to peel more often and force a hard ball. Because of course, as a hitter, if you see no one, then you kind of have to hit hard, because now you have to, a shot would have to beat two guys, not just one. On the flip side, if your defender is really good at running everything down, what should you do on average? Well, then you should block, because then you're going to take the hard balls away, at least some of them, and your defender is going to do the rest, to take care of the shots. So that should feed to some extent into your decision. Okay, what else did I list down? We have hitter's tendencies, of course. If you know the guy does two things, bank cross or high line, well then you can protect those two zones. In this case, if let's see, if someone has that tendency, bank cross or hard line, or sorry, high line, well then you might want to have a let's block the cross, and and have the defender get ready to get the line shots. I would prefer that on a guy who does bank cross and high line shots. Okay, so if you know that information, you can adapt your calls. Maybe that's even before the points. But okay, since that's one of the ingredients, the other ingredients, set and height location. Okay, so of course you're not gonna block the same way. Let's just say, let's stick to that play that you're blocking cross. You're blocking cross. You're not gonna block the same way if the hitter comes with that angle, or if he comes with this angle. You should not block the same way. Power hit zone. You see in this case, this same block, even if it's the same set. So what did I say? This is I already on hitter's approach. Okay, sorry. That was hitter's approach, not set, height, and location. But let's go with hitter's approach. You should not be blocking the same way. On this approach, you probably want to come take this. And sorry again, we are in here, and I'll get to that next. But if, oopsie, don't need to turn here. This guy though will. If he's coming with the hard angle approach, well then yes, you want to dive more in. You see how the hitter's approach will tell you things. Okay, what about the set height and location? Okay, so set height, well, let's go with location. Of course, if it's tight, the tighter, the more you want to block, the further off, the more you want to peel in general. But you need to combine that with the hitter's approach. If the set is 10 feet off, but he's coming full speed, well, it looks like he might still want to bang one, and if you can read that most likely angle, you might be able to be somewhat effective or be effective. But same thing, if the set is tight and the guy is slowing down big time, then maybe at some point you want to peel. And even if you can't peel too deep because it's late in the game, then ideally you have a scheme with your partner on what to do on a late peel. And we'll do that in another video because this is not something you can just give three bullet points to two players and hope that they'll follow and they will work out. You'll need the reps, you'll need the timing, you'll need to see, you'll need the defender to understand what's happening. But yes, in general, if you see someone slowing down, especially if he's not super tall, maybe at this point he's gonna do a roll shot. Okay, set height. Of course, the height. If the height will be a big factor. I typically, as a blocker, if I see my hitter looking up to the set like this, well, I will peel because now he has no idea what I'm doing. First, the ball is going to be hard to time. The higher the ball, the faster it's going to land in front of you, so that the hitting window is going to be shorter. Smaller, shorter. So it's harder to hit. Next thing is, last thing he saw was you at the net. So even if he hears a good call from his partner that there is no one or something of that effect, there's still some mental processing he's going to need to do to process and then use that information and do something about it. So and even then, he still doesn't know exactly at what angle or how deep I peeled. Now, on the other hand, if I was to stay on those sky-high set, well, then he kind of knows where I'm at. Sure, I could lean one way or the other at the last second, but at least he knows the body position. and could play a shot around that. Um, so the set height has its importance. And again, it's all a combination of everything. If it's medium height but the hitter is slowing down, I'm probably more likely to peel. If it's good height, full speed, yeah, you probably want to block, even if the ball is a little off the net. So that everything, you need to factor everything in. Like yesterday, I played with some people I just met, and there was one guy, he would just hit everything. Okay, well, knowing that, well, I'd probably be blocking more often than peeling. So again, those all of those you need to use it to your advantage. Bad timing. So peeling, you could be peeling, you could have the right decision, but peel really late. Let's see. Let's reset. Okay. Let's just say that okay, the set is a little off, and you want to peel, and I will no longer block, so I will have this. I want to peel, but I peel straight back, and then he hits a high line shot, and again, okay, then this is just like too easy for the attacker. What else? Bad position. Yeah, so I guess timing and position. Oh yeah, so bad position could be you went and kissed the line. That would be a bad position. Even if you had the right timing, you went and then let's just exaggerate the angle, the attacker's approach. Okay, so in this case, more likely the ball is gonna go toward that side of the court. So what one could do is essentially shrink the court, and instead of peeling like here, then you peel there, and then your defender can follow suit, and suddenly let's get some reference lines. Suddenly you can essentially split the court in that, give or take, that that zone, and sure, the attacker could still send the ball there, but then here it's not going to be hard driven, so the blocker might have some good time. So if you don't, if you just peel at a standard position and angle, then suddenly your court coverage is still you still have a lot more court to cover. So that read you could have on the everything that we discussed can help you shrink the court. Let me remove this and get a specific zone. So here, with that angle, just give the attacker let him hit there, and let him beat you there if he can. And you, on the other hand, ideally want to split the court somewhere like that, give or take 50-50, maybe like this. Oopsie, not this one. Maybe something like this. So any ball there, give or take. This is how you split the court, and you see that you gain yourself 30%. You only have 60-70% left. And again, it's not completely impossible for anyone to hard driven the ball anywhere there, or let him beat you there. If you treat that zone here the same way as the rest of the court, he will exploit the gaps in the middle. If you just split the court, give or take 50-50 like this, well then now you have a lot more to work. He has a lot more to work with. Give essentially as a defense, give up the harder play of the attacker. Here's a quote from Todd Rogers. Any ball that goes a foot from the line, they can have. I'll have the rest. Similar idea. It's not just about that 1 foot perimeter around. It's also about, based on everything that we've already discussed here, there will be some zones that are a lot harder to hit. You give those up, maximize your chances on the rest. And if they beat you, good for them. I'd rather they beat me on something hard than they beat me on the easy play. I would be pissed if the ball ends up, Jesus, there is some overlap problem. I'll have to work on that. I would really be pissed if we are beat because of a ball going there. That is not, that should have been within our, so if the hitter hits from there and the ball ends up here, that should have been saved. That should have been saved because we would have shrunk the court and therefore one of us could get to it. Okay, bad body position. So let's see. Now this is also quite an art, and I don't like art. I like science, quite the science. But essentially, if you're peeling and you're still like this, and then they end up with a ball here, it's a lot harder than if you had been like that. You see, like that, if you reach up, and now you see my hands. If you reach up, the zone behind you, essentially, like you can protect with just reaching up. So in this case, you would have it, but if you were like that, you reach up and you don't have it. Now, I'm not an advocate of always peel the same depth, the same position. I am not that. I will never advocate for that. But I can also judge even before the fact what's a good peel, what's a bad peel, and that would be an example of if he was like this. Well, then you're not protecting. You're not really. Maybe this can work if you're reading that the ball is going to go in front of you, like here, because the hitter's ball is inside, he's slowing down. Then maybe that's okay. Anyway, maybe we'll do a video just about peeling position, peeling timing. That's a massive topic, and maybe I need to be at the beach and show a number of examples, and we would have some things of what not to do. Now, if you want to reach out and be my guinea pigs and showing good or bad block/peel, reach out in the comments. Thank you. What is next? What is next? We have zone coverage. What does it mean? What does it mean? In the meantime, I'm going to reset everything. Okay, not taking the zone when the other team must play close. Oh yeah, this is my favorite. This is my favorite denying plays. Denying plays, favorite, yeah, is it my favorite play? Maybe not. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, and then I'm going to shrink those lines, and that's probably for the setter actually. Okay, so this situation is we get a rocket pass that is going to be in or under the net. Okay, and let's say this guy passed the ball and good serve, rocket pass into the net. Now this guy has to chase it down. He has to chase it down. Either he has to scoop it slightly from off the net, or sometimes he can't even, the ball won't even touch the net. Okay, so here's what you do. You stand in front of it so that he sees it. The ball, you'll be in front of him, he'll see you, and he has to either slow down or come with an angle so that he doesn't run into you when he scoops that ball up. So you increase his time to get to the ball, because if you're standing there, no one in their right mind want to collide. Now of course there might be a time where you were there and he already took off and started running, and at this point you may not want to do that because you may not be able to slow down fast enough, and I'd rather let him save the ball than get an injury. But if right away you can be in front of that ball, you don't need to touch the net, touch the ball, nothing, just be there, you will deny his chance, because if not, most likely he will end up slightly in your side to save that ball. You want to just deny that and force him to come at an angle or slow down. Okay, it's not natural because no one wants to collide, especially the other guy is going. You want to get there ASAP to deny that play from him. Okay, last thing I had here was just to be too predictable. A lot of people, I don't know if it's a lot, some people block line all day, every day, all year round. So if you already know that, the attacker already knows that, well, of course you're going to abuse it, either by a high line shot or pound the cross, because you know it's open, and worst case defender will take it. So you don't want to be that guy who never changes, even if the situation I described earlier, an attacker has high line or bank cross, even once in a while you want to throw him off too, because even someone who's limited might still be able to adjust to what you're doing. So just don't be too predictable. And I think that was it in my bullet points. I'm sure I forgot a number of items, number of situations. We can discuss about those when I think of it, or put those in the comments below, and I'll respond, and maybe we'll make other videos. Thank you, and play volleyball as a chess game. See you.